Looks like the grasshoppers have been at it again. They are destroying my plants. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Mountain Harmony Gardening. I'm Kristen, and today we're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the what is that of insects. The insects that I'm going to be talking about today, I actually see here in my own garden. And we're going to start off with the good bugs. And the first one I'm going to talk about is bees. Bees are wonderful to have in our garden, which I think most of us know. Not only are they fun to watch when they're flying around your garden, but they are wonderful pollinators. They have been doing such a good job on my zucchini right now. I have so many. I just saw 2 really huge ones in the garden that I need to pick before they turn to baseball bats. The next one is spiders. Now, I may not personally really like spiders, especially if they're in my house, but in the garden, I go ahead and I leave them alone. We have orb weavers, we have little jumping spiders, we have wolf spiders as well. And I go ahead and I leave them alone because I know that they're doing a wonderful job removing all the pests. And I definitely don't want pest bugs in my garden. And last, we're going to talk about ladybugs. I even have ladybug decor on my back fence. And ladybugs are wonderful because they eat a ton of aphids. Probably hundreds each lifetime or so when I was looking up some information on ladybugs. And we had a lot of aphids this spring, and right now we're starting to get them again. I had to cut down a dill plant because they were covered in aphids. So those are 3 beneficial insects that I have in my own garden. The next insects we're going to talk about there in my garden are the bad insects. So the first one that we're going to start with is grasshoppers. You saw me at the very beginning of this video looking at my raspberry leaves, and they are absolutely destroying my raspberries. I don't even know if we will get a fall harvest or not. And if they end up turning into locusts and start flying, then they can eat your garden overnight. I had this happen to me when I first started gardening when I was 14. I was so devastated to come out and find that everything that I had grown was gone. The next one we're going to talk about is roly-polies. I know that all of you have probably heard, if you watch my other videos, how much of a problem I've had with the infestation of roly-polies that we have. A few are decomposers. The infestation, that's when it becomes a problem because they eat all of your seedlings. But I have taken steps to mitigate them, and now I haven't found hardly any lately. So that's a good thing. But yeah, they can be a problem. The next one we're going to talk about that I've been dealing with since we got this garden is root weevils. The larvae live underground and they will eat the roots of your plants. And then at night, the adults come out and they eat your plants. They will leave little notches in the plants. And the way that I know that it's actually root weevils and not leafcutter bees is I've come out at night and my plants are covered in them. So they're another pest that are really hard to get rid of, and I have not found a way to do it yet. The last one we're going to talk about is aphids. And like I said, I had a bad infestation of aphids this spring, and it almost killed my honeysuckle. Luckily, it's starting to come back, but now I'm finding them again. So if you find them, go ahead and make sure that you either remove the plants or you spray them off with water or do something else to go ahead and mitigate them, because they will kill your plants because they are actually sucking the sap out of your plants. The last insects we're going to talk about is the what is that in my garden? I've come across several insects in our garden that I did not know what they were, and I had to look them up. The first one we're going to talk about is actually a moth, and that is the hummingbird moth. They are so beautiful, and they mimic the way a hummingbird flies, and they actually kind of look like hummingbirds, but they are wonderful to have in your garden because they are pollinators. So you definitely want them in your garden. The next one we're going to talk about are praying mantis. And if you've watched my other videos, you know that we have them in our garden because we have uthakas, which are the egg sacs of praying mantis in our garden. I found 3 this year. And praying mantis are kind of in the middle because they do eat a lot of insects, but they will eat some of the beneficial ones if they can get their hands on them. But luckily, most of the prey that I have seen the praying mantis eating in our garden are grasshoppers. So I like having the praying mantis in our garden. The last one I'm going to talk about, I actually filmed on our very first short, and I had no clue what it was because I hadn't seen them in our garden before. And they are katydids or leaf bugs. They are really cool. Now they can also be kind of in the middle, like the praying mantis, because they also eat bad insects, but they also will eat leaves. And if you have just a few of them, they're not a problem. You have an infestation, then they can kind of become a problem. But for the most part, if you just have a few of them, they are really great to have in your garden. Plus, they're really cool looking because they mimic a leaf. All the hummingbirds are flying around telling me to get away from their feeder. The feeder is just up here out of view. So I hope that gives you an idea of what is beneficial, what is harmful, what's really cool to have in your garden, and kind of in between. So don't always chase off the bugs in your garden and think that they're not beneficial. You can always look it up on the internet if you take a picture and see what they actually are and if you need to remove them or not. So thanks for watching, everyone. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. That really helps out my channel a ton. Happy gardening, everyone.